Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I'm here to tell you about a bunch of new products that have gone and been listed over in Japan. They have been seen, they have got release dates. This seems absolutely legit, and I've been a bit careful with this one, really making sure it seems legit before I bring it to you. But I've seen it shared around enough now. I've seen the release dates. These look legit, and I want to start off with what's happening on the 20th of November, because we are getting starter deck generations. And when I say generations, that should make you go, hang on a second. I remember generations. Yeah, not that. Sorry. That was a cool set, right? Generations was fun. It's not generations. I feel very fondly when I think back about generations, because that came out right as I was starting my casting journey. And I remember going to Italian Nationals, because we did cast Italian Nationals one year. And it was amazing, because it was just everywhere I picked up some Italian generation stuff. And someone from Pokemon was just giving us generations packs. It was brilliant. It's not that generations. What we have is a series of 9 starter decks, and as soon as I say generations and 9 starter decks, that should make you go, oh, one for each generation. Yes, one for each generation. Generally giving you a legendary Pokemon and a high-level Pokemon, but obviously, with Generation 1, they're going Pikachu and Snorlax, which I can't blame them for, honestly. I get it. It's weird, because it's not a legendary Pokemon, and all the other generations have legendary Pokemon, but then, by the same token, it does seem a little bit weird that we, wouldn't get Pikachu in here. And it's also weird, because we've literally had Pikachu EX. We've had more than one Pikachu EX. Well, we've had one, and there's another one coming in the Battle Academy. So the point is, yes, it's a little bit weird that we've had Pikachu. Sorry, it's coming. And Snorlax, I love Snorlax. Snorlax is my boy. My 2-year-old adores Snorlax. Getting a Snorlax makes me happy. Obviously, I'm just using random card images of the Pokemon here. These are all new cards, new EXs. There's 18, 9 times 2. But I can't show them to you now, so I'm just using placeholder images, obviously. Gen 2, we've got Lugia, and we've got Tyranitar. And of course, worth pointing out, Tyranitar has had an EX over in Obsidian Flames. It was a Terra Lightning, but it still had one. And Lugia has also had an EX. Now, it's not tournament legal. It was in the Combined Powers Collection. You cannot play that in a tournament. It is very much not tournament legal. But how weird is it that now we're starting to double up? There's so many Pokemon that haven't doubled up. But then again, they're deliberately using really popular Pokemon here. And then by the same token, they're deliberately using popular Pokemon in the sets, sometimes at least, and that does make sense. Over in Generation 3, we've got Kyogre and Blaziken, which is rather lovely. Both of those are, shall we say, making their debut, which is kind of lovely. Over in Gen 4, we find ourselves with Dialga and Lucario. Dialga's not had an EX yet. Lucario has had an EX. Lucario has had more than one EX. Hasn't had one in a set yet, though. So I don't know. Maybe this is a nice excuse to get Lucario in a set. Over in Gen 5, we've got Reshiram and Amoonguss. Really? Really? Amoonguss? I don't know. Maybe people watching VG over at EUIC. Either way, we're getting Amoonguss. Deal with it, I suppose. Gen 6, we're getting Xerneas and Noivern, which is, all right, I suppose. Yes, Noivern has already had an EX. It's getting another one. Over in Gen 7, we've got Tapu Koko and Mimikyu. Yes, they've both already had an EX. Not sure they necessarily both needed one already. Don't care. People love Tapu Koko and Mimikyu. Over in Gen 8, we've got Zacian and Alchemy, and it's kind of fun, this one, because, when we're in Gen 8, the block, Zacian gets all the love with all the chase cards because it's the current Pokemon, but then when we get to Gen 9, Zacian kind of gets ignored. We've only had one Zacian in Gen 9, and it's not very exciting. So I kind of love that that's coming back. And then from Gen 9, we get Koraidon and Clodsire. They were so close. So close here. Miraidon. Blatantly should have been Miraidon. Of course, Koraidon's already had 2 different EXs, and Clodsire's had an EX. Cool, I suppose. But yeah, these are going to be fun. Lots of new EXs, 18 new EXs. And look, these are starter deck EXs that generally aren't as exciting, I understand. However, don't really care. Because we got 18 new EXs, there's a good chance some of them end up being quite good. And let's not forget, Ordino came in a starter deck and was not supposed to be good and then won the World Championship. So I'm just putting it out there. Maybe we give these a little bit of a chance. Plus, there's 18 Pokemon being given some love. And on the one hand, I want to rail against the fact that we've already had some of these and they could have given us new ones. And on the other hand, I'm like, yay, new Clodsire. And Snorlax is getting some love. I kind of wish we'd got a Miraidon over Koraidon because I'm Team Future. But I think overall, this is going to make a lot of people happy. Now, there is also another set coming out, which is the Start Deck Generation Special Battle Set, which is basically just a couple of the decks thrown together. But these are decks that are coming out for 850 yen. Don't expect us to be getting these decks. Now, I'm going to get all of these decks. I get literally every Japanese deck that is released, I import because I'm a massive nerd. Oh, by the way, 850 yen means you're looking at like $5.40. But we're going to get these in other products. They're going to be popped into sets, etc. Don't be surprised if there's a set in the near future that has way more EXs than normal, because there are 18 new EXs we got to be sliding in here. But the other things we were shown, we were told about 2 new sets, Paradise Dragona and Choden Breaker. Now, Choden, there's 2 kanji here, and I know these kanji because I'm learning Japanese. And they're literally ultra and electric. So, at least the way I've learned them, and it's always awkward with kanji and having slightly different meanings and all of that, but it's basically Super Lightning Breaker, which, as a fan of the Chargers, makes me just want to call it Supercharger Breaker, or Supercharged Breaker, or something along those lines, because that's what the kanji mean, and I'm a Chargers fan, and, Superchargers. There we go. But it's going to be something along those lines. I've not seen, say, for instance, lovely Anton Boulay translate this yet, but it's going to be something like Supercharged Breaker or something like that. And this just makes things interesting. Now, we got 2 sets. Paradise Dragona is the one I told you about the other day. That is coming out on September the 13th. And we know that a box is 5,400 yen, which basically tells us it is an ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill set. If it was a special set, it would be 550 yen a pack, 10 cards per pack, 5,500 yen a box. But with 5,400 yen a box, and I know it's only 100 yen difference, but I promise you that's all we need to see, 5,400 yen is a regular set, 5,500 yen is a 10-pack special set. 10 pack per box special set. So it's a regular set, but it is very clearly a dragon-themed set. Remember, we don't have Hydrapple yet. We still don't have a Hydrapple card. Got a few Diplin, don't have a Hydrapple. Could this be the set that brings back double dragon energy? I don't know. I figure if I mention it in enough videos as a possibility, somebody might hear me and go, good point, Wassy, let's do that. Is it going to work? I don't know. I just want double dragon energy back. But the fact that it's literally called Paradise Dragona, I mean, look, it's going to be a dragon-focused set. I did do a whole video about this the other day when we saw the trademark. I'll link that in the description. But basically, we got a dragon set coming, and that's amazing. But as for Choden Breaker, which is, like I say, Super Lightning, Supercharger, Super Electric, call it how you will, that one I am less sure about. Because what do we even have in terms of real highlight lightning Pokemon from Gen 9? I mean, Miraidon? Maybe? I mean, you got Bellibolt, but come on, Bellibolt's not getting its own set, not at this point. And we got some of the Paradox Pokemon, like Raging Bolt, for instance, but again, we've seen all of these. This is one of those sets where I don't have a great prediction for this. Sometimes we see a set name and it's like, got it, nailed it, I know exactly what that is. Other times we see a set name and you're just like, nah mate, don't know. And sometimes we see a set name and it doesn't make much sense. And then you get 5 minutes down the line and you're like, oh, because some new information comes out. We learn something we didn't know before. And then all of a sudden, that gives us the information we need to actually go, right, now that's what this set actually means. I didn't know that before, but I do know that now, and that's lovely. So we have to wait and see for this one, I'm afraid. I don't think there is an obvious connection here with something from the Pokemon game. So I did what I always do in this situation. I asked my good friend Joe from Cerebi.net, see what he thought. He reckons Stella Terra Pikachu. And because he told me, I took this picture off his website. And, yeah, it does make sense, honestly. It's the best we've got. Is it a great option? Maybe. The point is, maybe. Maybe that's the best we've got here. But it seems as good a prediction as any, does it not? Certainly does to me. So yeah, apparently it's going to be Stella Terra Pikachu. That's what Joe reckons, and Joe's pretty good at this stuff. Actually, right, I took a quick break. I went on and did some digging, and it turns out there is a deck case, a deck box, featuring Terra Stella Pikachu, which is being released on the same day as Super Lightning Breaker, or whatever you want to call it. So yes, it's going to be that. There we go. That's your answer. Seemed like a sensible prediction, but a bit weird. Then I saw there was a deck box that is coming out on the same day, and yeah, now I feel 100% convinced, because we've done this for long enough, right? I tell you this every time I show you the new merch from a new set. The merch we get on the same day as a set has Pokemon from the set in invariably every single time, so there we go. Now this set, I should mention, is due for release on the 18th of October, so 1 month after Paradise Dragona. So yeah, these are things that are seeming kind of fun. Oh, there's also sleeves for a Terra-type Stella Pikachu coming as well. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me your thoughts and your dreams for the starter deck Degenerations, for Paradise Dragona, and for Super Lightning Breaker, or however you want to pronounce it. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.